Welcome back, everybody. For today's deep dive, we're traveling to a small cafe in Tokyo.
Ooh, sounds cozy.
But this isn't just any cafe.
There's a cat cafe. I've always wanted to go to one of those.
No, this one's even more unique. We're exploring Toshikazu Kawaguchi's Before the Coffee Gets Cold.
Oh, wow, time travel. I've heard so much about this book. It's supposed to be amazing.
It definitely is. It's gotten super popular, even adapted into a film, and now a TV series is coming out.
Yeah, I think it really captures people's imaginations. Who hasn't wished they could go back in time right now?
Exactly. But here's the thing. This book's time travel comes with some very specific rules.
Rules? Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
So the story is set in this cafe, Funiculi Funicula,
Love the name.
and customers can travel back in time, but only to moments that have happened within the cafe.
So I couldn't go back and see the dinosaurs or anything?
Nope, sorry. It's all about moments within the cafe's history.
Okay, interesting. So what else? What's the catch with the coffee?
Ah, yes, the coffee. The biggest rule is you have to finish your coffee before it gets cold.
Or what? What happens if you don't?
Let's just say you wouldn't want to find out. It involves becoming a ghost.
Oh my gosh, that's creepy. So you're really racing against the clock.
And even if you do finish your coffee on time, there's another big twist. You can't actually change the past.
Huh. So what's the point then? Why even bother going back if you can't change anything?
That's the question the book explores. And it does it beautifully through 4 different stories.
Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more about the first story, The Lovers.
So we meet this young woman, Fumiko. She's heartbroken because her boyfriend, Goro, is about to leave for America.
Oh no, long distance. It's tough.
Yeah, and in this case, it seems like their communication wasn't the best.
Misunderstandings. Always a recipe for heartache.
Right. So Fumiko is devastated and decides to go back in time, hoping to convince Goro to stay.
But she knows she can't actually change his mind, right?
Exactly. It's more about her need to express her feelings and maybe gain some closure.
So what happens when she goes back? Does she get to talk to Goro?
She does. But what she discovers is that Goro was incredibly insecure, convinced she was going to leave him anyway.
Wow, so he made this huge decision based on his own assumptions.
It seems that way. He thought moving to America would spare him the pain of her leaving.
Gosh, talk about a communication breakdown.
It really highlights how fear and insecurity can drive our actions.
Makes you think, doesn't it? About all the what-ifs we create in our own minds.
Absolutely. So while Fumiko's journey back in time doesn't change the outcome, it does give her a new understanding of their relationship.
So even though it's sad, it's also empowering in a way.
Exactly. She gains a sense of peace and moves forward with a clearer perspective. On to story number 2,
Yeah, what's next?
husband and wife. This one is about Kotake and her husband Fusagi, who is struggling with Alzheimer's disease.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. It must be so difficult to watch someone you love slowly lose their memories.
It's a really poignant story about love and loss. Kotake is desperate to connect with the man Fusagi once was, to hold on to those fading memories.
What does she do? Does she travel back to a time before his illness?
Not exactly. She decides to retrieve a letter he wrote her before his memory started to fade.
A letter. That's so romantic. I wonder what it says.
It's definitely full of love, but it also reveals a heartbreaking truth.
Uh-oh. What was it?
Fusagi knew about his illness. He wrote the letter to give Kotake the freedom to leave him.
Oh, wow. That's selfless, but also so sad.
Right. He didn't want her to be burdened with caring for him as his condition worsened.
It speaks volumes about their love that he would put her needs before his own.
Absolutely. And Kotake, armed with this knowledge from the past, makes the decision to stay by his side.
It's a powerful testament to the enduring nature of love and commitment.
It really is. Even though she can't change his diagnosis, she chooses to cherish their remaining time together.
Okay, I'm already getting emotional just hearing about it. What about story number 3?
So the third story, The Sisters, focuses on Hirai and her relationship with her younger sister Kumi.
Okay, sibling relationships can be complicated. What's the story there?
Hirai always wanted to be independent, so she moved to Tokyo, leaving Kumi to run the family inn.
That must have caused some tension.
It did. It created a rift between them, and they never really reconciled.
Oh no, and I'm guessing something happens to Kumi.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah.
Kumi passes away before they have a chance to mend their relationship.
That's awful. I can't imagine the guilt and regret Hirai must feel.
It's definitely a story about coming to terms with loss and seeking forgiveness, even if it's too late.
So Hirai goes back in time to see Kumi. Does she try to convince her to come to Tokyo too?
No, it's more about her trying to understand Kumi's perspective and to seek forgiveness for her past actions.
So what does she learn?
Well, she discovers that Kumi never resented her for leaving. She actually dreamed of them running the inn together, side by side.
Oh, wow. That's both heartwarming and sad.
It really is. It shows how miscommunication and unspoken feelings can damage relationships.
It's a reminder to communicate with loved ones and cherish them while we can.
So true. Even though the visit is bittersweet, it motivates Hirai to mend other relationships in her life and reconnect with her family.
It's like she's carrying Kumi's love and forgiveness with her, inspiring her to be a better person.
Exactly. And then we come to the final story, Mother and Child.
Oh, this one sounds intriguing. What's it about?
It centers on Kay, the cafe owner's wife. She's pregnant, but due to health complications, her pregnancy is high risk.
Oh no, I hope everything turns out okay.
The doctors warn her that she might not survive childbirth. It's a very emotional story.
So what does she want to do with the time travel? Does she want to see if her baby is born healthy?
She has an even more unusual wish. She wants to travel 10 years into the future to meet her child.
Wow, that's really powerful. She wants to connect with the future even if she might not be a part of it.
It's a poignant exploration of a mother's love and her desire to know her child, even if she can't raise them.
So does she get to meet her child in the future?
Well, there's a little twist. She accidentally travels 15 years into the future instead of 10.
15 years. Wow, that must have been a shock. What happens next?
She meets her teenage daughter, Miki.
I can only imagine what that encounter must have been like. It's a really emotional scene they share. Miki reassures Ki that she's loved and that she's had a happy life.
Oh, wow. So, despite all the uncertainty, Ki finds some peace knowing her child is going to be okay.
Exactly. It's such a moving example of the mother-daughter bond and how it can transcend time.
It's really making me think you know about all these stories and how they all connect to this idea of revisiting the past.
Right. Even though they know they can't change anything, the characters are still drawn to those pivotal moments.
It's like they're searching for something, a sense of closure or understanding.
And isn't that something we all long for in a way, to make sense of our pasts?
Absolutely. I think that's what makes this book so resonant. It's not just about time travel, it's about the human experience.
You said it. It's about love, loss, regret, and those moments that shape who we are.
So what about the cafe itself? You mentioned it has a special role to play in all of this.
Oh, definitely. It's more than just a setting. It's almost like a character in the book.
How so? What makes Funiculi Funicula so unique?
Well, imagine a place that's frozen in time with sepia lamps, antique furniture, and clocks that tell the wrong time.
Wait, the clocks tell the wrong time. That's so cool. It really adds to the whole time travel vibe.
Right, and then there's Kazu, the waitress who prepares the time-traveling coffee.
Ah, yes, Kazu.
Yeah.
You mentioned her before. Does she have a story of her own?
Her story isn't directly told in the book, but she's definitely a key figure. She's like a guardian of the cafe and its secrets.
Ooh, I like that. She's seen it all those journeys into the past.
And speaking of journeys, remember those rules we talked about? They add a whole other layer to the story.
The fact that you have to finish your coffee before it gets cold, or else.
It creates this sense of urgency. It's like a reminder that even in time travel, time keeps moving forward.
And that even if you could go back, you can't just stay there forever.
Exactly. And then there's the significance of the coffee itself.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. What's so special about this coffee? Is it like a magic potion?
I wouldn't say magic, but it's definitely a catalyst for the time travel experience.
So it's like a key that unlocks those memories and allows those journeys to happen.
Exactly. It's all connected. You know, the cafe, the coffee, the rules, the stories.
It's like a carefully crafted world that draws you in and makes you think about your own life and your own past.
And ultimately, I think that's what makes Before the Coffee Gets Cold so captivating.
I agree. It's a story that will stay with you long after you've finished reading it. It's a reminder to cherish the moments we have and to find peace with the past.
And maybe even to appreciate a good cup of coffee a little bit more.
Absolutely. So what's your final takeaway from the book?
I think it's about the power of perspective. You know, we can't change the past, but revisiting it can change how we see the present.
I like that. It's about letting go of regrets and finding meaning in the moments that have shaped us.
And realizing that even though time moves forward, our memories and the connections we've made continue to shape who we are. It really is about finding that peace and understanding, and maybe even a little bit of hope.
Such a powerful message, and I think it's something we can all relate to in some way.
Definitely. We all have those moments we wish we could go back to, but this book shows us that even without changing the past, we can still find healing and growth.
It's a beautiful reminder that our past don't define us, but they do shape us, and it's up to us to learn from those experiences and move forward.
And to make the most of the present moment, because that's all we really have.
Well said. I think Toshikazu Kawaguchi has created something truly special with this book, Before the Coffee Gets Cold. It's a story that will stay with me for a long time.
Me too. It's a reminder to appreciate those simple things like a good cup of coffee and the people who make life worth living.
And to never take those moments for granted.
Absolutely.
So to everyone listening, if you're looking for a heartwarming and thought-provoking read, I highly recommend checking out Before the Coffee Gets Cold.
You won't regret it.
It's a story that will transport you to another time and place and leave you with a renewed sense of hope and wonder.
And maybe even inspire you to visit your own local cafe and savor a cup of coffee while reflecting on your own journey through time.
What a perfect way to end our deep dive.